what is this world coming to? Like, truly, I sometimes I believe when you live life with not no expectations of any strict outcome on life, and you are someone who is open to the idea, to the reality that things could have different meanings, and meaning doesn't have to be concrete, and that life can move and shift you and change you into different realities, different experiences. I When you allow that to happen and you are open to that, I think life can feel, sometimes it can feel like, what is the meaning of life? What what do I do? What do I get to do? And at times I think it allows you to be able to explore and express. And I think in a time in this world currently today, what day is it? I don't know what day it is. I know we're in August, and we're at the end of August currently, and it's the last Wednesday of August. And sometimes, okay, so I this might sound so weird, so vague, and who knows what, but I went to an artist talk, and they were talking about their experience there as artists and what was going in that year of them being in this location and what they learned, what they were able to explore, and all that great stuff. So, what I got from that when I was sitting in the audience, just listening to them share their experiences and stories that they had, um, I don't think this world is, I don't mean to sound naive, but I think humanity is still a good thing. And what I'm trying to say is, I think sometimes we read headlines and we read things about a lot of like the negative stuff in life, and about how like AI is going to take over the world and all that stuff. I think as human beings, we still have the ability and the consciousness to make decisions, and that we can still act as humans. We don't always have to allow the trends or the things that feel like hot topic or what's happening so and such as world, trying to keep up with the Joneses type of lifestyle, that we could create the life that we want based off different decisions that we make. That if you're someone who used to be like, your career went from one thing to another, and like, you can go to school, you can get educated in a certain field and do that for many years or even a short amount of time. And that's okay if you decide to shift and change that thing. And if you're someone who decides that this is what you want to do with your life, that you want to change your career, you want to move to a different location, you can do that. Like, if you're feeling stuck where you're at, or you're wanting to change the life you're currently living, you don't like where you're at, or you want or you're trying to get out of your comfort zone, like, people, you can do that. Like, I feel like my mind is still kind of downloading and trying to understand everything that just went on today. It was a lot. And I think it was a great reminder for myself. Just hearing artists from where they're at, and the things that they were able to develop and learn and create, and just the sheerness of humans just being humans and exploring life, and um, not allowing outside forces, and just allowing themselves to create just to create. Like, sometimes you don't have to do a thing because it's going to make you X amount of money, and even if you do that, that's okay. And I think people are in different seasons of their life where they can be doing one thing and they can shift another thing, and I think it all depends on you as a human and what you want out of life and what you decide and how you want to shift and change. And I think that sometimes we feel like there has to be a certain way, or maybe, or even if you don't think that, like, things could shift and change and you don't have to be one thing. You are multitude, you're multiple layers of this thing. You're you're a creative being, even if you don't necessarily think that word creative falls into your category or your personality or whatever it is. But I just think that people and your experiences are what they are, and what you believe, what you think doesn't always have to be concrete. It can shift. And exploring different avenues and being around people that don't always think the same way you think or do the same things you do can enhance your experience as a human and as a person. And whatever meaning, whatever thing you want out of life or desire to have can be in out of these two hands that you're gifted with, or mind that you have, or just you as a person, as a being, can move throughout the world and create as you desire. And another thing I want to touch on about this experience today, and what I'm kind of downloading from today, is the way that I was thinking about going about life, relationships, people, pleasure, things, that sometimes, I don't know if this is you, but sometimes, just from my own experience growing up and just the mind that has been conditioned to, sometimes I feel like things have to be a certain way or have to have expectation in order to get X, Y, Z, and sometimes I can feel like I'm over analyzing things. And even though that's not exactly, I'm not putting it in a category of being bad or putting it in a box, but sometimes certain tendencies, certain things that you do can hinder or slow down your process of getting to the next thing. And when you're someone who makes a decision, decides on that, goes with it, and you can do that at a rate that is, you're like, for instance, if you're someone who's like, what do I want for dinner? What do I want for lunch? Instead of taking an hour to figure that out, you can make a decision. Oh, we're going to have chicken. We're going to have beef. We're going to do this and that. This is what I have. This is what I'm going to go to the store with. This is what I'm going to order, or whatever. Like, like, what I want more for myself is to be someone who makes decisions and makes them without trying to overanalyze everything that could come with that. And I know sometimes you do need to think through before you act, but sometimes it's okay to let yourself have that experience and not try to take away the actual experience of going through that thing. Because sometimes what I've found is that when I'm going through something, trying to make a decision, sometimes I remove the feeling of experiencing, like, what it felt like to discover that thing. I think as humans, or as, at least this is my own experience, discovering something with life, going to something new or different, or challenging yourself and shifting your day-to-day or the way you would normally do something, or just being able to talk to somebody who you might not have talked to or experienced, or whatever that is. Those decisions of doing the thing, committing to that thing, keep doing that thing, and being able to make decisions at a faster rate. People who ideate and create in the moment and don't necessarily think too much about the end result. When you're thinking about the end result before you're actually in the thing, doing the thing, sometimes that kind of hinders you from experiencing and exploring in that moment. And as creative beings as we are as people, sometimes we need to allow ourselves to be more creative expressives and be people who build more through our experience versus always looking for like the right or wrong answer of something. And sometimes I know for me, with being in the corporate world or being from being a child to growing up and getting older, there's different experiences that I've had and different perspectives now from when I was a child or when I was younger. And sometimes I feel like now, and I don't know if it's just because of my current situation, sometimes I have to sit back and rethink and allow my old ways of thinking or challenge my own belief in certain things or ideas or truths that I might think of, and that's okay, and not to be ashamed of the old way, but being able to allow yourself to experience new things and to explore and be creative in life, whether that's job, whether that's, I don't know, whatever life and whatever things I do in life. And I just wanted to kind of download and express what has been going on in my mind over this past few hours in this evening. And I don't know, I feel like I appreciate and I'm grateful for being here and having that experience, to be reminded and to know that life, you create the meaning out of life that you want and desire, and the things that you do, the things you believe, and the experiences that you have are all worth it. Like the day-to-day, the process, the way you allow yourself to, if you're someone, like for me sometimes, like I remember, like you don't do anything until the weekend, or you don't try to break up your week or whatever. And I think that was kind of just a minor example of, hey, you can do things throughout the week. You can allow yourself to enjoy different experiences, and you don't have to be someone who lives like so rigidly. And like just allow yourself to have fun, have a good time, and just enjoy this life that you have, because you have it once. There's no do-overs. This is your time. And I think when you experience a lot of different things like newness and then releasing different things out of your life, and just that rhythm of all the things that come in and out of life. And I'm grateful today to be here, to experience this life, to have gone through, to have been in a room with different people that I would have never experienced life with, and to be open and to say yes to these experiences have just been amazing. And I hope more people allow themselves to create and be creative people, whether that's you're someone who wants to build community, or you want to change different things in your life, or you want to shift and adapt, or whatever that is. I hope that more people can allow themselves to have greater experience in their life, and that where you come from doesn't matter of where you go, or what you're currently doing doesn't dictate whether what you want to change in your life and how different experiences you want to have. And it's not always going to be easy, but it's you have to, be like a composer, I guess. You have to be someone who allows these different experiences to shift and change and allow you to adapt and all that. And I don't know if this mumble and jumble of words makes sense to you, But I'm grateful for this day to download all of this and to have these experiences and to be here as a human in this world, in this day to day. And that is all I have to say. Bye.